Hello and welcome to our Get You Ready session on how to write essays. So in this session, we'll be discussing what is an essay, how to structure an essay, and be sharing some general tips. So what is an essay? An essay is a short piece of writing on a given question, which can be a formal or an academic style. A continuous text organized into an introduction, a body, conclusion, and a bibliography. A carefully constructed series of points and examples, which are always drawn from research and designed to persuade the reader that the writer's point of view is correct and justified. When structuring your essay, there are normally three outlines: your introduction, the body, and conclusion. And in each of these outlines, it will consist of paragraphs. So in your introduction, this will orientate the reader, identify the focus and the purpose of what your essay will be about, and outline the scope and state the thesis of the essay. And in the body, we'll have a series of topic sentences and the supporting details of those sentences and concluding those sentences. So each point you're making will be supported with detail and concluding. And finally, in your conclusion, this is where you will restate thesis, restate the purpose of your essay, and summarize the argument that you're making. So in the introduction, you'll introduce the topic in an opening sentence, provide background detail and information, define key terms, identify the aim of your essay in the thesis statement, explain the structure of the essay. So some tips on the introduction. So start with a hook or a surprising fact. Write your thesis statement, the central claim, at the end of the second paragraph. Tell the reader which is your position and how you will defend it. Do not wait to the end of the conclusion. Write the introduction at the end of the writing process. So with your essay body, your point will be the topic, sentence, and claim. Include evidence, which is data, results of research, who else has made this claim, and explain these points and evidence. Now we'll be handing over to Claudia, who will continue and answer some questions.
Is there timing to write essays? Well, no, unless it's an essay type exam, okay? An essay type exam, what they ask you to do is they give you 2 hours, you have to go to an exam like any other kind of, and they give you open questions like to what extent is Tunisia a democracy? Discuss the topic using evidence from the literature. That could be a question for a political science essay type exam. And they normally give you at least 3, okay? And they give you 2 hours. And sometimes they give you 10 questions and you have to choose. Amar, you can mention references in the conclusion and in any part of the essay. In terms of the conclusions, if you haven't mentioned them before, I wouldn't do it. And after the conclusions, of course, you need a bibliography. It's fundamental, okay? Would you use the word proof of? No, as I said, Valencia is quite a personal thing, but I wouldn't use the word proof. I would like to do some self-study for writing essays. Any specific book you would recommend? Yes, if you look at the end of this presentation, I will show you the reference that I would suggest on academic writing, okay? Those are quite useful. Again, also the blog that is quoted there. So, again, I'm going to repeat this. Do not introduce new information in the conclusions, please. That is really important, okay? After your conclusions, your essay always need to be referenced. You need a bibliography. You need to include reference in text. We saw this last week, but I just want to give you a quick reminder of when do you need to use references. For any data you found from your own primary research, like surveys, okay? If you use a graph from an internet article, you need to reference it. A quotation from a book, of course, and anything that you paraphrase, summarize, or any information that didn't came directly from your head, okay? But that you found in a book, article, webpage, newspaper. Remember, okay? You do not need only to reference words, okay? If you take an idea of somebody else, even if you change absolutely every word and the structure, it is still not your idea. So you have to reference it, okay? You have to reference in the text immediately after you finish saying or stating that idea, and at the end in a bibliography, okay? Any question about this? Any reminder you need of this? Yes, that's the point, that you have your own clear own idea, okay? That is the beauty of it. You're just using other authors, okay, to help you say it better, let's say, or to prove that you have evidence, okay? If you decide to continue your studies to postgraduate, okay, you will be having to find your own evidence, but at this point, the aim of researching and using others' ideas is to have a stronger new one, to kind of change the way things are, okay? So that is the point of a university, okay? Creating new knowledge and help you to create new knowledge, okay? So your own idea is the most important part of the essay. That thesis statement is expressing your own idea that is informed by theory and by everything that you read, that is yours. So in general, okay, we never find a reference after a thesis statement or argument because it's yours, okay? You came to that conclusion, to that point of view, after reading a lot, after looking at the evidence, and what you want to do in that essay is to explain to your reader why did you came to that idea, how you concluded that. What is the minimum words we have to write in an essay? That depends completely on your lecturer and the assessment. It might be 1,000 words, it might be 3,000 words. In terms of editing, am I allowed to use editing software to help me? I know a lot of students tend to use Grammarly. I can detect the essays that are have been edited by Grammarly because they are really poorly written. So I wouldn't suggest using editing software. Of course, that you can use a grammar checker in Word and all that kind of thing, okay? But be really careful. And I wouldn't say anybody would send anybody my work to be edited. If the topic you're discussing is ongoing and a conclusion hasn't been reached, would the conclusion have to include that, or does it count? Valencia, is exactly what I was saying, that you can, this is the part when you say, well, although there is not a conclusion yet, researchers are still discussing this topic, and in the few next months, we might come to a result. This is an ongoing experiment. This is an ongoing discussion. It's perfectly fine, okay, if there is not a conclusion. However, you need to remember that in your conclusion section, you need to restate, okay, which was the aim. The aim of this essay was to discuss or to explain the current debate about lockdown policies in the UK. There's not a conclusion of what is right or wrong at this moment. So that might be part of how the limits are stated in the last part of your essay. What makes a really strong essay? An incredibly strong argument with an excellent structure that is really well referenced and has excellent grammar. How has your essays now changed from past essays? Well, first of all, I am I teach academic writing. I have been, well, I was a student for 13 years, so it have changed quite a bit from the time that I started. So my structure have become stronger. Also, another thing is I am not a native speaker, as you probably have noticed. So my English and my vocabulary has become stronger, and my language is more specialized now. So I have more theoretical tools to express what I want to say. So it might be that it's actually a bit more complex, okay? But the way I pay more attention to individual sentences. Before I was just concerned with the general ideas. Now I'm really concerned for every sentence, how every sentence sounds. Again, how many paragraphs depends on how long. At least 2 in the introduction, at least 1 in the conclusions, and not that more, and not less than 4 in the body. Okay. So general tips to write an essay: always edit and proofread your essay. Okay. How are our essays marked? It depends on the lecturer and in your department. Okay. What's the best way to improve your writing skills? By writing. And you don't need to write academically, okay? You can write creative. There are a lot of activities and exercises available in Google. Just look for them. And of course, Laurita, the best way is by reading, but paying attention to what you read and noticing, oh, I really like the way this author is structuring the paragraph. So it's not all about the content, but about the form. How is it written? Okay. Another advice, okay, is to read your essay out loud. Okay. When you read your essay out loud, you will become better in the use of punctuation. Punctuation is a tool that writers have, okay, to make their writing sound the way they want it to be read or the way they want it to sound. So please read yourself out loud. You will discover when you need a comma. Do not try to do research and write your whole essay in one night. It's not going to work. Research takes a lot of time, okay? I guarantee you, it does take a lot of time. Another one, write, finish writing, sleep, and then edit. Hemingway used to say, okay, please don't take this literally, please, but he used to say, Hemingway, the really famous writer, used to say, write drunk, edit sober, okay? Write when you're inspired, okay? Edit when you have already some time away from the text. Please be organized, read, take notes and organize the notes, write and edit, okay? And do not leave reference at the end, okay? Your future self is going to be so thankful that you reference everything and that you took the notes and that they don't have to go back and search for our article that God knows where it is because you forgot to write the year or you thought, oh, I'm going just to do it the night before. It's the most boring part of writing an essay. So do it as you go. Don't leave it at the end. You might be plagiarizing if you do that, if you forget one reference. So do it from the beginning, okay? Roughly, how long should we spend researching? Joy, a lot of time, okay? Probably much more time than writing. And by research, I mean from the process of finding the sources, understanding the topic, finding the sources, deciding what sources are more useful, taking the notes, organizing the notes, okay? That is not going to take you one day, okay? And the less familiar you are with academic writing, the more time it's going to take. So in terms of the books that you were asking on some bibliography, first, if you want to go on, get right into it right now, go to this blog, okay? Tim Squirrel has a PhD by Oxford University. He used to be a GTA, and he has been writing about how to write better essays as an undergrad, okay? This is excellent, and he has a video that explains it. I really, really recommend, okay? You can see in the presentation some quotes that I took from him. And then these two books that are classical, okay? that are the classic handbooks for writing. They are going to help you not only with your writing, but with your study skills. Our Stella Control the Study Skills Handbook. If you're worried about arguments, critical thinking skills is the one to go for. And then Successful Academic Writing is only about writing, but it's a really good introduction and it has a lot of activities. Hope you found this useful. I promise you, it's not as scary as it sounds. You might find it actually really entertaining and nice, okay? And no, thank you for coming, okay? I really enjoy being here and I hope to see you next week. If you are concerned on how to write really good arguments, okay? Please come. You can contact Avid there or anybody in the Get You program and they will be able to send you the slides, okay? Thanks, I will check my email to see what I have here. And no, there are no silly questions, never. Please ask anything you want. I'm here to answer. Also, if you think that your question is silly, just send them privately. That's the beauty of Zoom. See you next week, I hope, and stay safe. You too. Bye.